We're Mike and Debbie Kelley. We're on a mission to see all 50 states. This summer, it's Alaska. In our last video, we drove the Glen Highway to the Richardson Highway and headed south to Valdez. And on our way, we made a stop at the Erangel St. Elias National Park. So this is the largest national park in the country. Denali is second. How many? You said
13.2 million
acres. Cool. Thank you. And if you missed that video, click here and go back and watch that video. Got a glacier up there, I think. It looks like it's that blue color. And as you probably know, Valdez, Alaska is the termination point for the Alaska pipeline.
Holy moly, we just hit the clouds. Thompson Pass on our way to Valdez.
And I have to say that when we passed this sign, the last 22 miles of this drive were loaded with beautiful waterfalls. Make sure you watch this video clear to the end because we make some changes to our travel plans. In the first half of our time here in Valdez, we stayed at the Bear Paw campgrounds. This is called Bear Paw 2 Campground. Oh, very cool. Yeah, so that's Bear Paw 1. And it's right across from the marina. The Fat Mermaid, there it is. Okay. Oh, maybe you can back in one of those over there.
The stop sign.
All right, downtown Valdez. That's like a waterfall. If you can see it all the way over there. There's another one and another one. There's a whole bunch of waterfalls. Very cool. All right, so we're going to head to the Fat Mermaid for lunch. And I didn't see anything wrong with having a Bloody Mary for lunch. I want to say this is quintessential, my opinion of Alaska. This is awesome.
Lots of quintessential Alaska.
Well, that's true, but if you're making a living from the ocean and the waters, that's just pretty cool. Ah, Mike's Place Restaurante. How did we miss that? We got back to the campground and Debbie found our first adventure. And so we're off. In 1964, on Good Friday, the most destructive earthquake ever to hit South Central Alaska measured 9.2 on the Richter scale and was centered in Prince William Sound. The earthquake did not destroy the town of Valdez, but the following series of waves of water caused massive landslides and engulfed most of the existing city of Valdez. After the earthquake, the Army Corps of Engineers determined that the town should be relocated about 4 miles away. In 1974, the construction project of the Trans-Alaska Pipeline began and was completed in 1977. Earmarking Valdez as the end of the 800-mile pipeline. This is July 23rd. That's where you can just dry camp right outside of Valdez. Way to the fish hatchery, and we went around the little inlet, I think that's what you'd call it, and that's where we just came from over there, the city of Valdez and the marina. The reviews on Google Maps lists this place as a must-see when visiting Valdez.
Solomon Gulch Hatchery, Valdez Fisheries. Check it out.
This hatchery is the largest single-species salmon hatchery in North America.
Kind of reminds you of a manatee in a way.
But they have to come up to breathe.
During our visit, the hatchery gates weren't open, so there weren't any salmon going through the ladder.
Kind of wonder what they're doing out there. Just sitting there breathing, or are they actually communicating? Oh, that was a huge one in his mouth. But they don't eat the whole fish. It's like they just bite a few pieces of it and throw it away and go to the next one.
The hatchery is important to the fishing industry here and the local economy, generating some $110 million in revenue every year. The Solomon Hatchery is free to the public to tour.
This fish hatchery was kind of a self-guided tour. It was pretty cool. They had a lot of TV screens that explained a lot of the process, and it was fun. Definitely something to do if you're ever in Valdez. This is pretty cool. Okay, that paint job looks pretty cool.
And when we left the Solomon Gulch Hatchery, we drove on down to the end of the road to see what it was.
Marine Terminal. That's probably an Alaska pipeline. There you go.
Where do you see?
The terminus.
Oh, that's Alaska.
on the way back to our campground, there was a couple of stops we needed to make. We made a quick stop at the Safeway supermarket to pick up some provisions, and of course next door we found a spirit that was produced locally, so we had to try it. And we went to find the local Elks Lodge and then stop in there for an afternoon cocktail.
That's what I'm thinking. There's a door open there.
And we did learn that all summer long on Friday nights, it's steak night. We also checked out the Eagles. And they let us boondock in the parking lot for a couple of nights. And before we left Valdez, we caught up with our friends Howard and Cheryl, and they're traveling with their friends from Australia. So we sat around the campfire and talked about our adventures. And before leaving town, we swung by the post office to send our postcards out to the kids and grandkids. So from here, our plans are to head back north to TOK. We still had a couple more places in Alaska, but we needed to get access to them from Canada. Just as we were leaving Valdez, we heard about an avalanche that took out the road to Skagway, and it also took out the train from Whitehorse to Skagway in doing so. But in our traveling true willy-nilly style, we made the change on the go, and instead of turning at Haines Junction and heading down to Haines, taking the ferry to Skagway, from Haines Junction we just stayed on the Alcan and went all the way to Whitehorse and decided to catch the Cassiair from there. This meant skipping Haines, Skagway, and we were going to try to hit Juneau on that trip as well, but those will all three have to be put back to our next trip to Alaska. So when we made it to TOK Alaska, we couldn't get into any campgrounds the first night. Debbie went on iOverlander and found a boondocking spot at an abandoned stone quarry. So that's where we spent the night.
All right, well, this is just exploring this quarry a little bit. It was pretty cool. As of this morning, we are the only ones here again, and I come back. If we come back, this is a place we'll definitely want to check out. I am going to get out a trash bag, walk around, and just pick up at least probably I'll be able to get a full bag of trash just because it's the right thing to do. It is a little sad when you have a free piece of property and people come out here and just leave trash. And I don't know if it's the locals or if it's the tourists. It doesn't matter. Nobody should do that. But we'll pick up and do our part and pick up a bag of trash and take it in and throw it in a dumpster somewhere in town before we head out. So, and by the way, you can barely hear the generator running there. I don't know, maybe it won't pick up on the but Starlink works fine. Nice little setup here for a fire, but we'll not do it. Alrighty, we're out.
So here we are leaving our stone quarry. We're in the bottom of a stone quarry boondocking site that we found on iOverlander, just outside of TOK, just east of TOK, Alaska. We stayed last night, going in town to dump. We're gonna stay in a campground tonight. And this is July 27th. We should put it in 4-wheel drive. Willie did that pretty good.
So yeah, we stayed at the same campground in TOK. On the way out, we decided to move from our Stone Quarry boondocking and paid the $35 a night here just for the electric and more so for the dump station and the water fill. So it was a win. But the stove campground, you see they have stoves set up in these little black wood burner or charbroil turner at all the campsites. And it's kind of neat, but they also have stoves just sitting around. Water heater stoves, if you're ever familiar with those. Just some old wood burning stoves. Kind of cool. But I don't know. Guy just had a collection of old wood burning stoves from the day, barrel stoves. So he decided to open a campground and call it Stove Campground. So pretty cool. But we're getting our water fill here. We'll be ready to go.
So he's going out to turn around to come in here to this reserved campsite.
Because we had been boondocking the previous 4 nights, we needed to pull in and dump our tanks and fill our fresh water before we started camping here this time around. I think we're going to call this video one for the books. I want to thank everybody for watching.
Oh, watch your side.
In the next video, we'll be leaving TOK Alaska and going back to Canada.
Yeah. How many? Yeah, you could come back. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Is that good?
Hope I get to see you guys here next week. Cheers, everybody.